Good afternoon. Welcome to the Midday Mull for Saturday, the 29th of July. With McShane, we're working our way through the book of Acts. Today, reading chapter 16. Paul sets off on his missionary journey. So Paul and Silas are heading off. And we're told there was a young man named Timothy who was a believer. His mother was Jewish. His father was a Greek. And everybody spoke well of him. So Paul wanted to take him with on the journey. We're told Paul wanted to take him along on the journey, so he circumcised him because of the Jews who lived in that area, for they all knew his father was a Greek. As they traveled from town to town, they delivered the decisions reached by the apostles and elders in Jerusalem for the people to obey. And that's kind of a contradiction, because the decision that was taken was you didn't have to be Jewish, you didn't need to be circumcised, you didn't have to keep the law. That was not part of being a Christian. But Paul circumcises Timothy despite that letter and then goes out. And it's not as though he forgot or didn't understand it. He went out taking that information with him, spreading that information to the church. And yet he circumcised Timothy. And as I read that, I thought, it seems to me that it was a practical decision on his part. If he's going off on this missionary journey, and he's going to go into synagogues, and that's where he always began his teaching, and he's going to engage with the Jewish communities. If Timothy's uncircumcised, that could be a stumbling block, that could be a problem, and that could detract from the focus of what he was there for. And so he did a practical thing by having him circumcised. And I think today sometimes people get too strident about the positions they hold. And if I believe that circumcision is not necessary, then no one must be circumcised for any reason whatsoever. And unfortunately, we've lost this the flexibility that Paul seemed to have. He wasn't flexible on the morals. He wasn't flexible on the gospel. He stood firm on that. But a lot of the practicalities, he did what was necessary, what was sensible, what made things work better. And it's a challenge for us today to be flexible, to hold on to the fundamentals, be inflexible about the gospel, but all the paraphernalia that surrounds the gospel is never set in stone. And we need to just be open-minded, keep our eyes on the goal, and be flexible on the journey. Be blessed.